Well, is that a sentiment often expressed in song or what? What in the hell does that mean? Only want to be with you. Like, that's the one and only two and there never will be anyone else, you know? Well, that's the way a lot of people seen it for a long, long time now through many generations, man. You know, that's the ideal that's been held up before us by music, song, and dance, since we began gathering around the campfire many, many centuries ago, baby. That's been the thing. You gotta get yourself a man, gotta get yourself a woman, settle down, live by the plan, man. Well, babies, that was staying alive. That was getting us through. That was letting love be expressed in a very limited way. That become unlimited for a few, but not very many, doggone it, don't you know? We just wish we could get on with the show, baby, so here we go. Right here on the Coyote Medicine Show, only on the Hazy Radio Network and all across the globe, all across the planetary reality, babies. We are setting hearts free, free, free. What that means is a different level of understanding comes into us now. It's like this little whirlwind that blew into this town a few days ago. You know, we have a lot of whirlwinds out here across this old San Luis Valley as it cooks them up coming towards us, you know. They call them dust devils here, and they can raise dust and tumbleweeds a mile into the air or so. And you see them out there dancing around, man, just having a great old time, kicking up the dust and the weeds and the muck and, you know, just swirling around like a tiny little tornado, only some of them can be shoot half a mile wide. Well, no, that's kind of stretching it. Quarter mile. That's not too far off, man. I've seen a quarter mile wide, a half mile wide one might be there somewhere. Never seen it though. You know, but a quarter mile easy, man. Yeah. And most of them like, you know, 300 to 500 feet wide, something like that at the bottom of them where they're kicking up all the dust, you know. A lot of times they come with storm fronts, you know. Well, man, since we're so used to them here, a lot of people don't even notice until they drive through them and it wiggles your car around a bit. And thank goodness you got one that can stay on the ground, because once in a while, you know, some people get moved around a bit too much, you know, can cause a collision or something. Have a feeling a friend died that way not that long ago. I kind of think that's what caused that little collision out there where one ran into another when that shouldn't have been happening ever. And there was no explanation for it. Well, there you are. Here's a little cosmic whirlwind, a real one, you know. Wow. So babies, you gotta watch out for whirlwinds, even though they seem innocent and harmless, and they are. But there's always that one moment in time where it might not be, babies, you know. So keep your heart loose, keep your heart free. In your heart, know that the whirlwind's there to set you free, babies, you know, in whatever way you choose it to be. See? So you live out your own darn history, really. But it's made out of love. It comes from your heart. You see, that's your life. That's your love. So this little whirlwind comes bouncing into town this weekend in human form. Touched a lot of hearts and made them really warm, and bounced around here and bounced around there and bounced over there and touched hearts everywhere. And there's a cosmic opening, a great turnaround. Cause this here whirlwind had whirled around right here in this here town of Crestonia, Colorado, as I call it. A little exaggeration on the essential facts. But it gets the old story on down the tracks and lets it bounce off my tongue instead of coming out kind of numb. You know what I mean? I like to give life to these words and give love to the herds, the masses, myself included, baby. Because, baby, you know, the minute you feel like you're excluded, that you're a little above the fray, oh, babies, that's when the phrase say, hey, 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 you just died today. If you know what I mean. Now, in the past, that might have been very real. And now, it's kind of like, well, from us, our hearts you won't steal. I mean, in other words, people see right through you now. The sheeple ain't sheep anymore, man. They got wise eyes. Their hearts are waking up. They may not quite understand it yet, but everybody's catching on, man. You know, it won't be long before this whole gig is up. I mean, this is the beginning of the end of the beginning, you know, and the beginning and the end first and then the beginning. It's like I say quite often, the journey's never over. The journey never ends. Wherever you are on it, that's where it just begins. We're already discovering the place we've already been. And naturally, right behind it, we're going to just move on in. That's the way we were, and that's the way we are. And that's what we do, babies. But don't let your memories slow you down. Let your memories keep you right, you know. Let your memories keep you upright instead of dragging you down. I mean, I know there's good and bad back there, and the bad can be pretty sad. But babies, you know, if you just give yourself a little room to glow, a little room to grow inside, and then you'll get on with the show. You go back there and in, 20 seconds, you'll heal everything in your whole life because you'll see right through all the bullshit that's packed into it, all the lies, all the disinformation, babies, It's all over the place. Misperception is the key to this reality. That's how we've lived it. We've misperceived everything. So correcting the perception then becomes the essential effort of the heart in these days of now. So that's exactly what we're doing. So we send these little whirlwinds in every now and then. They clean the place up a little bit too, man. They pick up the weeds and the trash and suck it up and toss it off into some place where it's not so unsightly, where it can, pleasantly rot down and become natural elements once again and not pollutants and poisons and so forth. You see, this whirlwind really had a heart. Right at the center of it, man. And there was a lot of dust and debris getting kicked up around the outside of it. And boy, this whirlwind was like, wow, a Kirby vacuum cleaner with super suction or something. Maybe it was one of those rainbow vacuums. Yeah, isn't that the water kind? $10,000 for a vacuum cleaner. Boy, that better be some awful nice rug you're cleaning up there. But oh, darlings, there she was, just a whirling around and a whirling around, yet just as settled down could be, and it's like, wow. All you could do was be charmed by this little mini storm, because at the center of it, was that heart of gold, that super calm delight. And every now and then you saw it slip out. And I tell you, it touched a lot of hearts in this here town, and it's turned this here place right around. There's some new truth to be lived here now. The uniform field, wow, oh, wow. Of course it's now. And right there in your heart. And babies, if we can give it that kind of start here, imagine what you can do there. It goes everywhere. From one to another to another to another. And usually by twos do we get the news, It just spreads out like wildfire, babies. The energy, the information, the reality. As it begins happening for you, share it with your friends too, babies. Share it with those you love, those you hate, and everybody else, man. Share it with everyone you run into. Now, you know what I mean. Don't assault anyone at all. Never confront them. But as you're passing by, give them the blessings of love. And if they look like they can use a hug, give them one. And don't worry that they'll misinterpret it. They won't. They can't. That's the hug of the divine love. They'll be fried on their feet. Their whole insides will change immediately, and their day will get suddenly much brighter. They might pass out for a few minutes. Don't worry. They're just getting reintegrated. They'll come right back. When you've got the love, you got the power, babies. You got the hour. It's yours. You are the star. You are in the spotlight now. And you are able to share your truth in this deeply imaginative way, which touches heart to heart and reaches up its smiling hand and says, hey, 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 here I am. You want to play? And of course, everyone say, oh, yay. The Coyote Medicine Show, only on the Hazy Radio Network, babies. Now do you see why it's your ticket to flight in the great daylight and in the middle of the night?
That's just the way it is.